We've all been there. You're getting utterly mauled, it seems like death is rapidly approaching, and then BAM! A healer is there to save your hide. Healers are without a doubt the most important allies you can have. They're the ones providing a safety net and making sure you don't kick the bucket. It's a tough job, but someone has to do it, and now it's time I talk about my favorite healers in gaming. I want to make one thing clear before we start. I'm looking at characters that use abilities to heal, not solely items. And maybe you can heal me by remembering to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can watch more videos like this. Well, let's look at some fantastic medical practitioners. Let's roll! I know a lot of people weren't really into Tokyo Mirage sessions. They were expecting a crossover between Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei to be different, I guess. Me though, I really enjoy the game for what it is, and one of my favorite parts about it is the cast of characters, such as our first candidate, Tsubasa. Tsubasa is Itsuki's childhood friend, and she needs to become an idol, just like her older sister. She definitely has some raw talent, but becoming an idol is much harder than she originally thought. Despite the adversity, her resolve never wavered, no matter how many times she failed. She's a great character, and it's wonderful to see her evolution as both a character and an idol over the course of the game. Of course, there's also the matter of her capabilities in battle. Tsubasa is a Pegasus Knight and wields a lance. Aside from lance attacks, she can also use wind-based magic and, more importantly, heal allies. With skills such as Medi and Rama at her disposal, Tsubasa is incredibly invaluable in just about any battle she's in. Of course, if there are archers around, she has to tread carefully lest she get torn to shreds. I really like Tsubasa, and I think she's a great healer to start off this list. The Fire Emblem series is full of excellent healers, and narrowing it down to just one was no simple task. I could've gone with someone like Lara Shell from Sacred Stones or Mercedes from Three Houses. In the end though, my choice for favorite Fire Emblem healer went to Fates' own Elize. Elize is the youngest sibling in the Nohrian royal family and is easily my favorite. She's just so pure and adorable, like a legit little sister. She wants to make friends with everyone in the army, and isn't even opposed to getting along with the Hoshidan royals if you're playing Revolution. Seriously, I wish I had a little sister like Elize. Alright, that's enough cute talk. How is Elize in battle? Simply put, excellent. Her starting class is Troubadour, meaning she not only heals, but also has great mobility because she rides on horseback. As a result, she's an incredibly useful ally to have around. Her growths are good in magic, speed, luck, and resistance, meaning she's great at fighting other mages and has a good chance to survive lethal damage with Miracle. And when the time comes to promote her, you can make her a strategist or a maid. Please don't make her a maid. Not only is her strength awful, but there's some unsettling implications that come from that. Of course, you can always make her a different mage class if you're so inclined, but that's up to you. Man, who wouldn't want this adorable cinnamon roll as a sister? Another number 8 segment on a list like this, another candidate from Octopath Traveler. I swear, I didn't plan this, it just happened. Anyways, while the obvious choice is to choose Ophelia, I'm gonna give the nod to Alfyn on this one. He might not be a healer in the traditional sense, but make no mistake, he truly is a medic. When Alf was young, he was afflicted with a rare ailment that nearly cost him his life, but a traveling apothecary gave him the medicine he needed despite being incredibly poor. That moment changed Alf's life forever, and when he got older, he studied everything he could about herbal medicine, wanting to heal others in the same way he was healed so many years ago. Alf has a heart of gold and wants to help anyone in need, no matter their status or standing. And not only can he heal disease, but he's also adept at healing in battle. While he does have a standard first aid spell, it's his ability to make concoctions that truly elevates him. While it seems like using items to heal, this ability is unique to Alfyn, which qualifies him for this list. Not only can these concoctions heal and remove status ailments, but they can also be used to attack as well, which gives Alfyn great versatility. Between his unique abilities and unwavering kindness, it's easy to see how Alfyn earned his spot on this list. When Mechanical Forces attacked, this character lost those precious to her. She preserved as a potent mech nonetheless, doing whatever she can to save others from the oppressive automatons. I'm of course talking about Sharla. This right here is quite the intriguing healer. When the Mechon attacked Colony 6, Sharla lost her significant other Gadol and was forced to flee with her brother Juju. After that, she swore she'd avenge Gadol and decided to fight off the Mechon intending to save the other survivors of the colony. Despite that, Sharla manages to keep a cool head and often acts as the party's voice of reason. In battle, Sharla is quite the different type of healer. Most healers use something like magic to heal, but Sharla uses a freaking sniper rifle! The fact that technology in the world of Xenoblade has evolved to this point is both intriguing and a little terrifying. Anyways, with that rifle in hand, Sharla is more than capable of fighting at the front lines. Most of her kit focuses on support, with her being able to heal one or multiple allies, cure and prevent status conditions, and even up allies' tension for a period of time. Of course, when the ships are down, she isn't afraid to get her hands dirty with attacks like Ether Bullet or Headshot, which is capable of one-shotting a dazed enemy if you're lucky. Guess sniping really is a good job, huh mates? We've seen licensed medical professionals take up the role as healers, but riddle me this. Would you trust a man who lost his medical license in his morbid pursuit of learning human anatomy? Well, if you're a mercenary fighting in the Badlands, you don't really have a choice in the matter, because your life is in the medic's hands. This doctor grew up in Stuttgart, Germany, and doesn't abide by the Hippocratic Oath like a normal doctor would. Nope, in his time, that was a mere Hippocratic suggestion. He does not care one bit if his teammates live or die, he just wants to learn what goes on inside of them. Questionable morality aside, the medic is beyond crucial in a good game of TF2. As the only healer in the game, it's pretty safe to say if the other team has a medic and yours doesn't, you are pretty screwed. However, it's not just his healing that makes him valuable, it's also his uber charge. Once that gauge is full, you can grant total immunity to damage with the stock medigun, have your patient shoot nothing but crits with the Kritzkrieg, dish out a quick fix with the quick fix, or give your allies the cure for most incoming damage with the vaccinator. A good medic can be the single most useful ally on your team, and you better do everything you can to protect him, because everyone on the enemy team wants him dead. But seriously guys, lay off your E-key, the medic is on his way. When Mechanical Forces attacked, this character lost those precious to her. She preserved as a potent mag nonetheless, doing whatever she can to save others from— wait a second, I already talked about Sharla. Oh, that makes more sense. Yeah, Overwatch's Ana has a pretty similar backstory to Sharla. During the Omnic Crisis, Ana was regarded as potentially the greatest sniper alive. Her accuracy and instincts were truly unmatched. Despite gaining on in years, she never stepped down, always acting as the number 2 to Commander Morrison. However, after losing an eye and nearly losing her life to the assassin Widowmaker, she stepped down for a long time, but that didn't last. She knew the world needed her again, so she's back on the front lines. Okay, maybe not that similar to Sharla, but the fact she's a healer with a sniper rifle and has a vendetta against machines could have been an illusion. Anywho, I find Ana to be the superior sniper between the two. Sure, she has to rely on my accuracy, which can be shaky at times, but her healing output is quite frankly insane. In combination with her healing grenades to augment her healing, she could potentially keep an ally alive through insane focus fire. Of course, those same grenades have the inverse effect on enemies, negating all healing and leaving them vulnerable. Plus, she has the best stun ability in the game with her sleep darts, provided they actually hit. And when that time comes, her nano boost can make an ally of her choice the single most feared force on the battlefield. Ana is one of my favorite heroes in Overwatch, and if she only made it halfway up the list, then my top 4 must be really something. Picking a healer from the Tales series proved to be the most challenging decision for this list. There are so many great ones that could have easily taken this spot. Ultimately, it came down to Elize from Tales of Xillia and Estelle from Tales of Vesperia. It was a tough call, but Elize barely won out. Elize is a young mage with a special gift. She was born with exceptional abilities with art, much stronger than a normal person. However, people saw her gift as a curse and thought she only brought trouble wherever she went. She grew up quite lonely as a result, and only had one friend for a long time. We're talking toy, I guess, Tipo. However, when Jude and Mila came along, they decided to free her from her isolation and show her the world. This really helps Elize open up, and she becomes much less afraid. I love her character development, especially with how her and Tipo play off one another. It's just adorable. But how is she on the battlefield? Quite frankly, awesome. Elize specializes not only in healing magic, but in dark elemental attacks. Arts like Healing Circle and Recover let her allies keep on trucking, and she can also cast powerful attacks like Negative Gate and Dread Wings. And on the fly, she can switch whether Tipo is on her to enhance her spellcasting, or off her to allow for better melee attacks. She's an incredibly valuable ally and a great character. Sorry Estelle, but this spot is Elize's to keep. There are healers that do their best to help you in any way, but then there are healers that make sure you're fully prepared for the road ahead. Not only healing you in battle, but helping you out in other ways along your journey. And of course, the ones who immediately spring to mind is Morgana. When you first come across this weird cat, you're going to help him out in exchange for his services. Once he's out, he does all he can to show you everything about the metaverse from the most basic of basics. His guidance is crucial for any beginner, and he's incredibly valuable for this reason. Even when outside the metaverse, he's equal parts great advice and a great friend. Of course, that's not the only thing he can do. He's quite excellent on the battlefield too. Morgana uses a few wind-based attacks, but is mainly there to make sure you don't keel over. Spells like Diorama and Mediorama can heal huge swaths of HP, and he's also capable of healing certain status conditions. I love having him around as much as I can, because it's always great to have a reliable source of heals nearby. This little guy has quite the big presence. I guess it helps that I'm a cat person. Man, it's been too long since I've been able to talk about The Last Story. This is one of my favorite games for a multitude of reasons, and now I get to talk about one of its most interesting characters, the quiet healer, Mirania. Mirania is part of Dagran's group of mercenaries, but her backstory is rather peculiar. At a very young age, Mirania lost both of her parents and grew up in the forest under the protection of its guardian. That guardian taught Mirania all about healing magic and medicinal herbs, priming her to become a healer. However, that forest eventually succumbed to the decay of the land, and the Guardian died. Afterwards, Mirania set off on her own, determined to find the source of the land's decay and to use her healing magic to help people and nature alike. For the most part, she's rather quiet, but is also quite insightful, and she also has an appetite capable of eating 214 muffins in one sitting for some reason. Her healing magic and nature affinity go hand in hand during combat. Mirania can cast both nature magic and healing magic. On the offensive end, that nature magic does solid damage. It can also render mages useless by inflicting silence, especially if Zale diffuses nature circles with Gale. But more importantly, her recover spell allows her to create safe zones in the form of healing circles. These heal damage for allies within them, and when diffused, they heal huge amounts of health and grant regeneration. But then there's Mirania's ace in the hole, her spirit ability, Revive. This fully heals all allies in an instant and also restores one life they may have lost during the scuffle. This means if the situation is dire and one or two allies have lost all their lives, Mirania can turn the tables in a heartbeat. Mirania is one of my favorite RPG characters without a doubt, and just barely missed out on my top spot for healers. But let's see who can top this. Imagine this, you're an up-and-coming nurse and you see a girl just fall out of the sky unconscious. Going with your better judgment, you help this girl out by giving her medical attention, although her bandaging needs work. She wakes up with amnesia and decides she wants to be your friend, so you go all over the place with her, healing her injuries along the way. That right there is the story of Kampa's life. Yeah, when making this list, Kampa was a pretty easy number 1 for me because she's the perfect healer. I just went over her backstory and I just love her character. Sure, she's a klutz and she isn't the best nurse in the world, but she puts her heart and soul into all the work she does, whether it's healing someone or trying to make friends. Whenever she's with her bestie Neptune, she always manages to keep an upbeat attitude and make sure everyone else is smiling too. Of course, when things get serious, she's no slouch on the battlefield. Most of her abilities focus directly on healing her allies, whether it's one or multiple. She can heal huge amounts with her best skills, cure poison or paralysis on a whim, and even revive downed allies. Sure, she can bash enemies too and even inflict her own status conditions to help turn the tide, but I have never seen a healer so dedicated to her job. Most of the time when I played through Neptunia, Kampa was always there, ready to heal her allies' damage so they could win the battle ahead. And that right there is what being a healer is all about. She doesn't care about the credit or the recognition, she just wants to help her friends. That's why Kampa is my number 1 favorite healer. I'm Arrow Dragon, and next time you go out into battle, maybe consider being that all-important healer. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this because I certainly had fun with it. As for my next countdown, I'm gonna go with a different topic that's much easier to get footage for. Prepare to see me rage because next time is my least favorite boss fights list. Well, until next time, this is Arrow Dragon, signing out.